Hi, this is Dorothy Smith, and I wanted to go back on this layout that I did yesterday from Celebrate Today, which I didn't quite get. It would be nice if I read the instructions thoroughly, but I misplaced this little bag of clear acrylic shapes, and so I quite didn't get what was going on. Anyway, I found this and realized that was part of Celebrate Today. And so they tell you to color them. So I got my tri-blend marker, and indeed, you can totally color these little shapes. So how cool is that? That means you can use these shapes and put them on any kind of color layout and color them accordingly. Or you can just put them on the color of the paper and they pick up the color. So whichever you'd like to do, but it is kind of nice to have the added depth of color on these clear acrylic shapes. So I just think that's totally cool. Look at that. And you can even add additional color once it dries. So like the pink one on the right there, is looking a little pale. So I'm going to add color to the turquoise ones. Okay. Yes. And then I'm going to add additional color onto the one that I already colored in pink. And it smoothed out the color and added a little bit more of a shade to it. So I love that. So I wanted to show you that before I started on Project 4. So here we go on Project 4. Oh, well, no. I'm crazy. First, I'm going to show you the cut above that goes with February. And it looks like it coordinates with the Celebrate Today. So I'll be doing that one in the next day or two. So here we go on Project 4. Okay, so here's Project 4, 2-page. And the first one has lots and lots of the stickers. So it looks real cute, but you don't have to use all of these stickers. You could just, there's a title down there at the bottom that just says Celebrate. So you could celebrate anything. It could be, oh, who knows, an anniversary or whatever kind of festive moment. And if it wasn't a birthday or something that requires candles, then you wouldn't use that zip strip. We do have other zip strips that have kind of a rainbow color pattern in a color wash that looks very, very pretty, and that would look nice on there also. Or you could leave it without, or you could make your own zip strip out of any border, out of any of the other paper leftovers. So I am just going through and taking out, there's 2 pages worth of very detailed die cut embellishments. And so all the little half moons are going to go under those loops. So that is going to take a little bit of time, which is why I'm speeding up this video quite a bit. So just to say it again, that these die cuts, that when you take them off of the carrier sheet, they're much easier to take off than they were just a couple of months ago. So I really like, I don't know what they did, but they made it easier to take these off. Because sometimes I struggled with it and did a little bit of ripping. So these are much, much easier, just so you know. Anyway, look at all these loops. Like I said, there's a lot of detail on these pages. Now, you do not have to use all of the detail. Like, you wouldn't necessarily have to use all of these banner type embellishments that they're suggesting. You'll see on the page 2 of the layout, it's a lots of stuff going on that page. And so you could actually take it down to maybe a couple of banners, just so there's, not quite so much detail on it. But that's up to you. So these are little picture windows. And the 2x2 photo holders will go in those little windows. I kind of put them on as an afterthought rather than, actually you could just leave those things in there and put your picture in on top of them. Just know that it's for a 2x2. So a couple of little tabs, and here I am going through. I'm using my liquid Tombow. To put these on, and I am just kind of putting little dots on top of the little half moons so that they will stick easily to the paper, the background. So I already put the zip strips on. And there's a cute little happy letters. They kind of look like big teeth to me. But that go across for the banner. That's why there was that big open spot. And then a cute little flower goes on top. So these get that gorgeous raspberry color. So that's going to be a 4x6 and a 3x4. And there's my 3x4. And my 4x6 is going to go right there. So, and it doesn't really, I mean, you can use the light or the dark, whichever you prefer. So this is going to, I'm going to put this on before I put on the 4x6 because it's going to go at the bottom. So I just want to make sure that I'm giving it plenty of space at the bottom, which again that's just above the zip strip of candles. And then the 4x6 is going to sit right on top of it. So, and then I'm just tilting that one off to the side, and there's going to be a die cut of the leaves that get tucked under that little picture. And I'm going to raise this flower so that it doesn't sit on top of the picture. I always try to do that so that the picture can be tucked in underneath. And then a little tab so you can put the date on it. This is quite festive, so there's a really big cake. Don't you love that background? I love that watercolor background. I took some of the stickum off the cake, the sticker on the cake, just so the picture can slip underneath it. So I did that with my anti-static pouch. So that's always an easy thing to kind of take care of the stickum so that you can slip your picture underneath. Then I got my little eye. Got to dot your I's, ladies. So that went pretty easy. And then here comes these cool acrylic. They're becoming my favorite little things there. I just love the way they look. So you just put one dot of liquid glue. I got a little clog in mine. These are one of the consultants. Her husband was helping her unclog her nozzle. And that is a tool that I got from Home Depot by the welding section. It cleans out some kind of welding something or other. Anyway, it works perfectly, and it was only like $4. So I've now used that a whole bunch of times. So I'm adding on top, with the stars, I'm adding some sequins to just add a little glitz around. It's just so cute. I love it. And then I'm going to paint them with my tri-blend marker. This is the bright pink marker. And you don't have to, but it does add a little something to it. So that was page 1. Here comes page 2. Now you're going to see what I was talking about. There's a lot of stuff going on that page. Kind of reminds me of the pictures you see of, you know, big city life where the clothes get hung from one, not about, well, balconies, but stairwells to another. Because there's so many of them. And there's all these little things hanging from them. It just made me think of that. Anyway, so this is a pom-pom banner, and it goes like that. And then these all get their half-moon colors on them. So I'm just going to dot the tombow all around and just kind of pick the colors. You know, you don't necessarily have to see what you're doing since you're working upside down. But all the colors look bright and happy and cheerful. Now, you have to remember that some of these, what do you call it? Some of the little scallops are going to be covered with pictures, so you don't necessarily have to put all of the colored half moons in the openings. It's kind of up to you. If you put them in all, then you can just kind of place the pictures wherever you want to so that the color shows through. So this is sort of fun to do. I don't know why I think that's fun to do, but it's kind of fun to put the colors, and then when you flip it over, you get a nice surprise. Look how pretty. You have to look at it quickly. That one got stuck to a hunk of glue, but it'll get covered up. And so here's the last one, changed since that one got stuck. And here we go. It's what was nice is that the little half moons are, you know, also kind of watercolor, the watercolor look. And, you know, if you have some big embellishments that are white, I mean, you can cut them with the Cricut and your cardstock. You can make the watercolor look by just taking, you know, either our watercolor paints and doing your own. So you could totally do that and make splatters and be messy and smush it all around and add more color, and you would have something that looked like the background there. So what do I see? Kind of looks like clotheslines, doesn't it? From, well, might be talking to an older group of women who remember clotheslines. Probably the young people are just like, what? It goes in a dryer. Are you crazy, lady? Okay, so all these strips that were cut prior to putting together the sheets are for, they get a banner cut down at the bottom. And, you know, and I'm even doing 2 at a time here. So, you know, you just kind of head towards the middle of the paper, and they're even offset so that it doesn't have to be straight. And, you know, making a banner cut, if it's a little uneven, it doesn't make any difference. So I'm doing the same thing with the black. And all this color kind of needs a little black to kind of give it some strength and some base and some calm. That blue and black looks pretty together, actually. So that's going to go there. And then all of these, I'm just putting them on top. They probably should have gone behind, but, you know, just cut a 2x2 picture and put it on top of there. And you don't even have to use these. I'm just doing it so you get a kind of a feel for what a 2x2 picture is going to look like in there. And to remind myself what size to cut the pictures. And this is where your cropping comes in, lady, going to a crop. This is the kind of stuff you're going to be cropping. And that's a good thing. There's probably a lot of extraneous materials, information on the pictures, and really the what you want is the important part that tells the picture. So these little die cuts that were on the first sheet, they kind of, I don't know, they kind of have a sort of a clothespin feel. But with the notches, I noticed, okay, well, that's what the acrylic pieces are for. So they were shaped to go with these white die cuts. Now you could color those pages with, I mean, those little pieces of paper with your tri-blend markers. I didn't do this when I was putting it together, but you could totally color the top of the acrylic pieces to match or contrast. These are going to be like little clothespins that are holding the pictures up on all those lines. That's kind of the idea of it. Now that's going to go, that big peony is going to go, they have it so just the leaves are showing. So I didn't want to waste the peony. You know, you never know when you're going to use a big pink flower. And so I cut it and put the peony back. So that can be used for another layout, or even a card for that matter. I just didn't want to waste, you know, that big beautiful flower. So these are drying, and I'm putting some little pop-ups on them. So once again, if they go over the picture, then the picture can slide underneath. And just a little bit, these are kind of thin pop-ups. Here's a little tab for the date. And this flower is going to go on the bottom. And they have you making your own journaling lines on these parts. They don't have a specific journaling card. So you just make your own. Once again, those are about 1/4 of an inch apart. I wish I had thought to, you know, color these when I was doing them, because that would have looked really cute. But like I said, there's a lot happening on this page. It was a very festive affair, I'm sure. So we've got lots of pieces. Compared to the first page, this one is far more complicated. So I'm just putting all the pictures in place. With so much action, it doesn't have to, you know, be perfectly straight, because it's not really going to make that much difference. And I am going to add, I don't know how that got stuck again. Maybe there was a clot in there. Anyway, I'm raising that little flower up too, just to add a little bit more dimension. And that big flower is going to go in there, kind of overlapping. And look how pretty that yellow flower goes with the little tab coming off of the picture. So I'm starting at the bottom, which really makes more sense on these little journaling places. See, 1/4 of an inch is really just right, I think. And I kind of curved the ones on the pink, and like I knew what I was doing. Ta-da! Okay, so I didn't realize this at the time. One thing I'm going to have to do is fill in all of the empty half moons at the bottom. Wow, I didn't see that while I was doing it, but I sure see it now. So I'm adding all of my acrylic strips. So what you can do on this is just add the half moons. I can slip them underneath, so that there isn't all those, you know, just pink places going. I can't believe I missed that. I probably should have put the one in the middle at the bottom and the one at the bottom in the middle. sometimes you get so involved in the detail that, I don't know if you ladies notice this, if you get so involved in the detail, you kind of forget to it's like trying to see the forest through the trees, truly. Anyway, that's basically what the page looks like, and I've got a whole bunch of colored moons to put under in those empty places, and there we go. Thanks for watching. So this really is fun if you've got daughters or granddaughters that are having birthdays, and everybody does. Have fun with it.